Stop your Excel totals breaking. Use tables instead. Because Format as Table sits on the Home tab of the ribbon, many users assume it's just about appearance. In reality, the formatting is just a byproduct. The real benefit is the structure it creates behind the scenes. Let me show you how. Now, lots of people I speak to think that they are using tables because Excel is typically laid out in a tabular format. So I've got this practice file open here, and as you can see, I've got columns and I've got rows, but at the moment it isn't a table. How do we know? Because if I click in a cell, we don't get any table design ribbon pop up here. Let's turn this into a table. Now you can do that in several ways. You can go to the Home tab of the ribbon and you can format as a table. If you click that button, it'll open up a gallery of different styles. This, unfortunately, is where a lot of people stop. They think the purpose of a table is just to make it look pretty. Couldn't be further from the truth, to be honest. This is almost a byproduct of using a table. No, the real big advantage in using tables is that they will automatically update as data changes. So let me turn this into a table for you. Another way of doing it is by going to the Insert tab and then choosing Table from here. Or you can do what I'm going to do, which is to click in a single cell, doesn't matter which one, and use Control and T. So I'm holding the Control key on my keyboard and using T. That opens up the Create Table dialog box. It automatically highlights the entire range and it ticks this little box for me to say my table has headers. I'll say OK to that, and immediately we have formatting applied. So we've now got a table. Here you can see the table design ribbon pop up, and there's the gallery that we saw earlier. So watch what happens to the column labels, the field labels, when I scroll. You have to be clicked in the table for this to work, by the way. So if I now click the scroll bar and drag, see what's happened to the letters A, B, C, D, and so on. They've now assumed the titles of each of the columns. So that makes freeze panes unnecessary. So that's the first advantage. Secondly, if we go back to the table design ribbon, you can see that there are lots of tools here specific to the table. And one of the things we haven't done so far is to check for duplicates. So we have a dedicated button here, Remove Duplicates. I'm just going to click that button, confirm it by saying OK. It's actually found 3 duplicate values and removed them, so we're left with 300 unique values. I'll say OK to that. And the other thing that we can do with this is automatically add a total row. All we have to do is tick the box, and by default, Excel attempts to add up the final column. If your final column doesn't contain something that can be added, then it will count them instead. But that feature is appropriate to all of the columns, not just the last one. So for example, if I wanted to add up the number of nights in total, I could click the little box, click the drop-down button there and add them up by using sum. And there you can see a sum of all the flights. I can also find the average length of time people stay. I can just simply change it to the average, and you can see the average length of time is just over 11 days. And that brings me on to the next advantage, which is that by default, filter tabs are enabled on all the columns. So if we decide that we want to just see these totals for Portugal, if I go down to the filter tab, click in the search box and just start typing PORT, up pops Portugal. That's the one I'm interested in, so I'll just say OK. And then if I scroll back up, you can see that having now filtered just for Portugal, the average has dropped to 9.76 and the total is now 11107. And you can carry on. So let's see if we can just narrow that down a little bit further by just saying we only want to see self-catering holidays that go to Portugal. And there you go. So we've now got an average of 13 days, and the total, as you can see, has dropped now to 7452. Using filters in this way is extremely useful, and of course you're not limited just to filtering. You can also sort from here as well. So you can sort A to Z, Z to A, or you can sort by color. And of course you've got all the usual filters. So you've got text filters in this case, but if we were on a numerical field like the nights field, you can see that you've got number filters. I'm going to clear these filters now before we move on, so that we're back to the full set of data again. But the real benefit of this is to add data. So if we go over to the extra data sheet, here you can see that I've got some extra data. All I'm going to do is highlight that data and copy it, Control and C. Switch back to my data sheet again, turn the total row off briefly just by unchecking that box, and then if I click at the first blank cell underneath my table and Control and V to paste, there is my data that has now automatically been absorbed into the rest of the table. So think about that for a second. Can you imagine if part of your role involves upgrading totals that have changed over time? If you've got a table, it will add it automatically. That's a major advance. So we've now added rows to the table. The other thing that we can do is to add a column. It's as easy as this. If I click in the next available column, I'm going to put passengers because this is all about holidays. And when I hit enter, bingo, look at that. So all the formatting has been applied. I'll just widen that. I'm going to add another column, and that's revenue. Wow, look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? So there we are. We've now seen how you can add rows and how you can add columns. And what I'd like to do next is to put a number in here for the number of passengers. Obviously, I could fill this in by hand, but you don't want to watch me do that. So what I'm going to do is use a function. So I'm just going to use equals and then rand between. All you have to do is start typing it, and up pops rand between. And then how many people do you think would holiday together? Well, it can't be fewer than one, so I'm going to put 1, comma, and then perhaps 15. So I'll say a random number between 1 and 15. Close the bracket and hit enter, and watch what happens when I hit enter. It populates the entire column for me. So that function, rand between, has now populated that entire column. And if we wanted to turn the total rows back on, just simply by going to table design and total row, you can see that that is now available to be added. So if I decide to choose a sum function for there, it now gives me the total for all those random numbers. However, I'm not going to do that because this rand between function is what's called a volatile function, and that means it's going to change every time the sheet is refreshed. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to copy all the numbers and then paste them back in the same position as values. So to do that, I'll use my favorite shortcut, Shift Control and the down arrow. I've now got everything selected. I'm going to Control and C to copy it, and then I'm going to go to the Home tab of the ribbon and then paste, but I'm going to paste them back as values. Okay, I'll just click paste as values, and then all those numbers are now pasted in. So instead of that rand between function, we've now got a number. I'm just going to hit the escape key to get rid of those marching ants, because now that I've got the number of passengers, I can calculate the revenue. So let's just widen that column a little bit more, and I'll do that by using a formula. The formula is just going to be the cost of the holiday multiplied by the number of passengers. I would like to introduce you to the topic of structured referencing. Because we're now using a table, you've already seen that the calculations are conducted at column or field level. Calculations don't work in quite the same way as they do in an ordinary range. So let me just click in the formula bar, type in my equal sign, and then I'm going to click in the cell. So watch what happens here when I click in G2. You can see it puts in equals square bracket and then at cost. So it's actually the name of the column or field. Then I'm going to put in an asterisk for multiply, and then I want that multiplied by the passenger field. Again, if I click in the cell, you can see it says at passengers. And again, if I hit the enter key now, wow, how about that? So I've now given the revenue column numbers for the revenue earned. And again, if I go down to the bottom, back up to table design and add my total row, we can add a total for the revenue just by adding the sum function. I'll just use a keyboard shortcut there to add the 1,000 separator commas, but take the pennies away. So there we are, 1.4 million from those passengers traveling with us. So I'm going to leave the tutorial there, but I hope you can see how important this is. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel. We have lots more Microsoft 365 tutorials on udemy.com, and you'll find a discount link in the description, especially for YouTube viewers. So I'll see you on the next tutorial. Bye for now.